Hi, my name is Dante. I'm 43. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. A little bit about me.
This shit ain't been the same. I know something don't be alright.
So I had a name for every horrible date that I've been on. And this one was interesting. So we went to a real nice restaurant and, I had met her online and everything seemed great, conversation. Okay, we're on the same level. So we get to the restaurant, I pick her up, open the door. She was surprised. She's like, hey. I'm like, but this is what men do, right? So we go sit down. The waiter comes out. He brings out a menu. So she looks, she decides, gentlemen, you let the woman order first. She starts out by ordering a drink, but she just didn't order any drink. She ordered the most expensive drink on the menu. So I'm like, okay, I see that, want you to be comfortable and, unwind. I'm not a drinker, so, So so she ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, drink wise. So I'm sitting there, I get a little water and some iced tea, and I'm thinking about, okay, we start off with drinks, having a conversation, and we start talking. Conversation starts to get a little bit interesting. I don't like
interesting.
So I don't want to use the term ghetto, right?
Okay.
But
It takes a turn.
it will take a
From classy
turn,
to
right?
something else.
From
Okay.
classy to yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's good.
Okay.
It was classy, but it took a turn. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, this was a mistake. This is not who I thought it was, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt, right?
Okay.
So we're continue on. Maybe I can work with. Maybe there's potential, right? Because the phone conversation sounded great,
Potential,
right?
okay.
Phone conversation sounded great. So next we start to order food, and she orders her food. She orders the most expensive thing on the menu. Once again,
It's a theme.
it's a thing. So I'm saying, okay, that's fine. I want to have a good time. I'm not really feeling her like that, but maybe she got potential. It ain't over. Maybe she's nervous or something. And I order my food. So the food comes out. The waiter brings the food out, and so I sit there. I'm spiritual, so I bless the food and everything. Oh, she's all excited. Oh, I never had that before. Great. So she takes like 3 bites. Okay, this is good. And then so I'm sitting there and I'm eating. I'm taking my time because I don't want to just finish eating before she does. Then she calls for the waiter to come back. So the waiter comes over. She's like, "Can I get a menu?"
Did she
So-
already order? Maybe she wants dessert. She might want dessert. Go ahead.
So can I get a menu? And then so I'm sitting there, I'm like, is everything okay? Is the food not good? The food not good, I have the waiter take it back, and replace it. I want something else. Okay. So she orders something else. So I'm like, okay, maybe, that you want the woman to feel comfortable. So I'm like, okay, maybe she didn't like what she ate. So that's fine, go ahead and get something else. She go to number 2 expensive thing on the menu. And then so I'm like, okay. So every entree was about $40. So I'm like, okay, let her get something else. Maybe she'd be happy. So the food comes out. She scoops that. The waiter say, hey, would you like me to take this away? She's like, no, I'm keeping it. I'm like, okay. So the next food comes out. She started eating. This is good. And then so I'm like, okay, maybe she happy. So she signals for the waiter to come back. She want to try a different drink. So now she orders the second most expensive drink on the menu. And so at this point, I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, something's going on with this picture. Either she got some kids at home, she's trying meal prep. That's what I talked to you about. I called her meal prep. You remember? Yeah, that's her name. That was the name of this situation.
We don't know if she was meal prepping.
It looked like meal prepping for me, so that's what I call her.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I call her meal prep
Oh.
because she was meal prepping for a whole week off my dime. So she was going to take all this to go. She was planning on it. So let me get to that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I should tell you how it ended, but
No,
so-
tell us all.
so
We want the details.
towards the end, she had a total of 4 entrees that she ordered.
What?
And she drank 3 drinks. And then so at this point, I was like, okay, are you full? I'm like, and she like, Yeah, so the waiter, so at the same time, the waiter, by the fourth time he comes back, the waiter's looking at me like, he's like,
what kind of date is this?
that's kind of jacked up. Yeah,
Is
you
this
know.
your girl? Okay.
Right, is that my girl? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, you ordered all this food because I'm trying to be polite, right? You don't want to be mean, but at this point, I'm trying to put two and two together because I can't believe this is happening, right?
Right.
So I'm like, you know, are you gonna eat all that food? I'm kind of full now. I'm just gonna take it with me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So what I did, I gotta go to the restroom. So I got up,
Okay.
I went to the restroom.
Uh-huh.
When I came back, you know where the hostess table and everything is. Saw the waiter, he was standing there. He looked at me. I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pay for that first entree she got, the first string, and I'm gonna pay for my food, and she's gonna cover the rest. And I left.
So you don't know how it ended for her.
Oh, she called me. She called. She. That wasn't my problem. You know, don't meal prep off my dime. You look, that was first date. Don't meal prep off of me. I left. I left. And so, what was it? 4 days later, she called me and she was like, "Hey, what happened? You know, I was having a nice time." And I was like, "Something ain't right with you. Something ain't right." But it was, I call her meal prep because
Okay.
off of my dime, I was like, I don't care if you're gonna wash dishes or whatever. That's just rude.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody say that somebody was meal prepping on a date. That's a new one for me.
You know
Dante.
what? I've heard it before where people would order things that they can take home
to their kids. Is what the men are assuming is what I've heard. But I also want to say this, not in meal prep's case, right? I've heard men talk about women that don't eat all their food and they bought it and they take it home in to-go bags because they think they're taking it for their kids.
Right.
But I can honestly say sometimes women do get nervous on dates and can't eat. So men, don't always assume a woman is taking stuff home to take advantage of you. Sometimes maybe the vibe is just so great that we're feeling you and we can't eat, so we need to take it home. So we may only take 2 bites and then take it home. I want to clarify that, but not meal preps.
Now, a lot of women, they don't want to eat because they don't want to look messy.
That too.
But I tell them, be comfortable. Eat. I'm not, just relax. Just, enjoy yourself because I want to see you enjoy yourself. Right. So if you eat, don't be all prissy right now. And then later down, 2 months down, you eat like this. And, you chowing down because it's like, you ain't the person that I met.
So let's talk about that too. So if you were to give advice to the ladies of, how to present themselves or how to put their best foot forward, what kind of advice would you give the ladies? What would you say?
So put your best foot forward.
Give them the Dante wisdom.
Don't put a foot forward that you can't maintain, right? There are genuine men out here. I hear people say that they're not good black men out here. There are, but we're looking for naturally genuine women. So don't be afraid to, meet and do something simple. Simple that doesn't involve drinks, where you gotta wind down just to have a conversation. And then later on, we learn that you're a wind-up person. You're always tense all the time. Just be you, be authentic. Try to get out and do natural things, common things, because life is natural, right? You're not dolled up every day. You see what I mean? Why get all dolled up? Put your best foot forward when you don't take a bath Monday through Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Right? I'm just saying, you get all dolled up, you have 3 good dresses, and every time we go out, you're all fixed up and you're everything. So but if I was to see you on Tuesday,
hair down and
everybody can turn up, right? But can I love you where you're at? So if you want something long term, you need a guy that's going to love you where you're at, how you are most of the time. We already know you can get dolled up, Don't get the long eyelashes. We're not really into that stuff. That's more of a woman thing. You don't need all that. The right guy will love you for who you are in simple form.
And last thing, so if a woman has some things she needs to work on for herself, dating, should she not date? And same with the guy. If he has things he needs to work on, should he not date, or should they?
Honestly,
Yeah.
no, you shouldn't.
Okay.
You shouldn't, because you don't know who you're going to become after you make it through that repair mode, right? You might not even be attracted to the same type of person. And that happens a lot of times because you jump into a relationship and you're not whole. You know, everything's good because you're getting what you weren't getting the last time. But now the other 80% of that person, you don't like. But now you wake up and it's like, I ain't feeling this anymore.
So you're saying when you go into a dating relationship unwhole, you may settle for somebody that may not be the full potential of what you would get being whole.
Right, because right now you're looking for things that's not sustainable.
This shit ain't been the same. I know something don't be alright.
You know, you grew up in the hood, you used to like that girl that's bow-legged, that had that little funny walk, and then when you get older, you realize something was wrong with her.
Oh my
Sipping on the city, got a nigga feeling too right.
You know, her name's Tika. And you're like, man, Tika fine. And she walking like that, and then when you get older, you like, what?
You don't want Tika no more?
Nah, you don't want Tika no more. Yeah, right. See, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I feel bad for Tika. Tika need love too. Stop it.
You know what, Tika? Yeah, you know what? You are
Everybody
correct.
can find somebody.
You are correct.
Somebody's gonna love Tika.
Everybody
Still.
needs somebody somehow, sometime, somehow.